Hi, let's talk about happiness. Do you believe that you deserve to be happy? There are some people that are on a quest for a constant state of happiness. And what does that even mean? What would that even look like? It's interesting that the more we strive to be happy, the reality is that the sadder and more depressed and more anxious our society is becoming, as research shows. Those things are at an all-time high. So what is happiness? What is it not? Well, happiness is not about smiling all the time. It's not about eliminating bad moods. It's not about removing all difficult or stressful situations from our life or avoiding conflict or stress. The kind of happiness that I'm talking about is something that's sustainable. But this quest that we have in our society for happiness is often linked with pursuing momentary pleasures that are associated with things like buying, eating, sometimes unhealthy relationships, being entertained. And while those things, not all of those things are bad, and yes, there is a surge of chemicals in our brain that make us feel good while we're experiencing those things, and that's okay. The kind of sustainable happiness that we really want comes from something very different than those things. It comes from living a life filled with meaning and purpose. It comes with using your God-given talents and abilities to serve other people, not just yourself. It comes from being willing to stretch and grow. You have to be willing to at times be uncomfortable, to be in a state of discomfort. Real happiness, sustainable happiness, is a byproduct of living a certain way and making certain choices and aligning your thoughts and your emotions and your actions with God's word. When you make choices that are aligned with your value system and with God's word, then the byproduct is a state of contentment, a state of well-being, a state of happiness. Getting what you want doesn't make you happy. It might bring you pleasure in the moment, but it's not sustainable. So each of us needs to think about how we're trying to, first of all, do we feel like we deserve to be happy? And what does that mean? And secondly, how are we going about trying to find happiness in our lives? I think that when we can understand what real happiness looks like in the way that God intends us to have, then we're on that path of being intentional from a divine perspective, and happiness will be the result of that.